All right, so Molly, growing up in the Bronx, can you talk about what drew you closer to basketball? Obviously, you had your brother who's a great hooper himself, but what were some of the factors that drew you to finally choose basketball?
Yeah, I kind of looked up to my brother. I looked up to Kemba Walker. He's from the Bronx, New York. So, just seeing him, what he can do at his size. He lives in the same neighborhood. It's kind of tough there and rough there. So once I seen my brother and Kemba could do it, I kind of gave me some inspiration, some motivation for me to do it too.
Yeah, I mean, you grew up with a ton of, super talented guys in the Bronx, Kobe Bryant, you grew up with Skyler, obviously across the street right now. Can you talk about, how special it is, looking back to grow up with that much talent, how that helps, continue to foster your love for basketball?
Yeah, just going with a lot of talent just helped me, helped my teammates, Skyler, Kobe, just, we wanted to compete a lot. We was with each other almost every day, just making sure I'm in the gym, having a good time, and just always locked in. So, it's just good to see the growth where we at right now, and I think we're all gonna go further, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Skyler, obviously, he's been tearing it up for UConn football ever since he transferred here. But what's it been like to be at the same school, and how special has it been to see the success he's having on the field as well?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see just Skyler doing what he loves and performing what he loves. It's kind of crazy we're at the same school. We always dreamed about it. We never really thought that would kind of happen, but it's just crazy that we're in the same school, same college, doing what we love. And like I said before, just performing. He's putting a lot of work. I've been putting a lot of work with his dad, on the court, on the field and stuff like that. So it's just fun. It's just crazy to think about. Skyler's my boy. I've been with him since probably before I've been 4 or 5 years old. So that's like my real brother. So, I'm just happy for him. I know he's happy for me. I'm proud of him. And if you see this video, keep doing you. And we're not done yet.
Can you recall those early conversations after you went into the portal, talked with Coach Hurley, Coach Kamani, the entire coaching staff? What were the things that made UConn stand out as a school that ultimately made you want to choose them?
Yeah, the coaching staff, Coach Kamani, Coach Hurley made me feel like priority. It felt like they made me feel wanted. This is kind of my home, close to home. I was kind of far from home at my old school, but they made me feel welcome here. Felt like a family. I felt comfortable as soon as we started talking. They pitched a good. They told me, this could be a good fit for me. They can help me bring my game to another level, and that kind of stuck with me. So I made sure, I chose the right school.
Now that you've been here a few weeks, with everyone on campus, what's been your impression of the fan base and the overall vibe on campus so far?
Yeah, I love the vibe of the fan base. They always showing love and supporting us. Whether it's on social media, whether it's us going somewhere in public, they always saying students on campus telling me, have a good year, good luck, stay healthy. I know they're expecting good season, some big things from us. So I appreciate the fan base. This is my first time here, so it's it's kind of different, but I love the fan base as of right now. Hopefully we can keep that going.
One of the biggest things, that stood out from your game is your playmaking, with the way that you set up your teammates to succeed. How big of an asset is that for this team who's brought in some experienced playmakers out of the portal? I
think it would be good for us. I think we'd be more dynamic, more versatile, just with the backcourt, just with playmaking. I think we all fit each other pretty well on the court. I think our strengths go together as far as the front court and the back court, so I think we should be very good.
You talked about how important the mental part of the game is, in finding success wherever you are in college basketball. How important was it for you to have a guy like Coach Hurley who values that part of the game so much?
Yeah, well, Coach Hurley's a point guard. He grew up, in Jersey. I'm from New York, so it's not too far. The East Coast kind of always stays together. He's been teaching me just how to be a great point guard. I'm not gonna say my coach before didn't, but he's just trying to push me to another level and challenge me, and that's something I need. He's very hard on us, but we just know that he wants the best for us. So I'm excited to learn just as much as I can in this 1 year with Coach Hurley. I've learned a lot already from my first couple months here, and I'm excited, to see my growth from when I come here and then when I leave.
When the lights are brightest and everything's on the line, what helps you stay focused and calm?
I kind of think about how far I came, just like my family. I kind of rely on my family. I kind of watch some old highlights of me just to make sure, just to remember, this is you, this is what you did. Not to really stress, and it's basketball. Try to have fun with it. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, but this is just a basketball game, and we gotta go out there and have fun. I think the games where you have fun and practice where you go hard. So I think when it gets to the bright lights, I just try to have fun and perform. My brother told me we always perform under the lights, so yeah, that's what I'm all about. I just like to perform.